The Manchester United rebuild is underway, and they've had a very good start to their summer window. They've prioritized addressing their attacking issues, because what we saw this past season is the worst Manchester United side in that club's history, and their attack is dead. And they've spent a lot of money so far to address that. They're bringing in Matheus Cunha from Wolves. They're wrapping up the Brian Mbeumo signing from Brentford. And now they're being linked with a move for Viktor Gyokeres. They could go from Rasmus Højlund to one of the best strikers in Europe. This would be a massive signing for Manchester United. And a Tier 1 journalist has put this report out there. And we're going to look at it because it shocked me when I saw this news, considering Manchester United did not get Champions League football. Now, we know that they were interested in Viktor because Ruben Amorim was his manager at Sporting. And Viktor already knows this system. He's put up amazing numbers underneath Ruben Amorim. But once they lost that Europa League final to Tottenham, I think everybody ruled the move out for this player because we figured he'd be going to a team that's in the UCL, like a Arsenal, maybe a Chelsea. There's other clubs around the world that need a striker as well. But for some weird reason, it feels like Viktor Gyokeres is second fiddle for a lot of these clubs. Arsenal are prioritizing a move for Sesko. Chelsea are prioritizing a move for Ekitike. Same thing with Liverpool. And I'm trying to figure out, why is nobody going in for Viktor Gyokeres? What is the issue with this player where with those numbers that he put up, it's phenomenal. Like, he has been one of the best goal scorers in Europe for the past 2 seasons. And with these top teams looking to sign other strikers, Manchester United could be able to come in through that back door and end up signing this player. It would be a huge move. And if they're able to sign Gyokeres after bringing in Cunha and Mbeumo, Manchester United might have one of the best attacks in the Premier League next season. So we got to talk about it, right? We're going to look at the news article, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications, make sure you guys get in the comment section, and let me know whether you think Gyokeres should go to Manchester United or not. Let's get it. Now, I've given Manchester United a lot of credit for the work that they've done so far during this window, and their attack 100% needs to be addressed. But they also have to focus on other areas in their team as well. And bringing in a guy like Viktor Gyokeres, while I think it would be a good move, I'm trying to figure out from his point of view, why would you be interested in going to Manchester United? Because attackers go there and die, right? United are a graveyard for talent. We've seen brilliant players sign for that club and their careers just go downhill from there. Now, maybe things can change, and maybe Ruben Amorim is the guy that's going to bring Manchester United back, but I just don't believe in him, right? Like, after they lost that Europa League final to Tottenham, I've been out on Ruben Amorim, right? Even though he came in mid-season, I gave him some grace because they finished in the bottom half of the table. Manchester United, a big, huge club like them, finishing, 15th or 16th? It's unacceptable. Losing in a Europa League final to Tottenham of all the teams. After that, I found it really hard for me to say that Ruben Amorim deserved to stay in a job. I personally would have sacked him. I think he's on the hot seat. So there's a lot of uncertainty going on. But regardless of that, Ben Jacobs is saying that Viktor Gyokeres is open to Manchester United even without Champions League football. No approach to Sporting yet, and several other European and Saudi suitors, but Ruben Amorim is still in touch with the player. Sporting will sell for around 70 million euros. So that's about 64 million pounds? If I'm not mistaken, that is fantastic business. Now, I know that Manchester United financially, right, they don't have as much money as what they used to, and with them not being in Europe next season, they're definitely not going to have as much money to spend, so they're going to have to sell some players. But if you can get a guy like this in, who's bagged all those goals, I mean, you have to do it. And I think Ruben Amorim is the deciding factor here, right? You're going to need a player that already knows his system, that already knows what Amorim wants from his number 9. And again, we got to go back to the conversation of, do Manchester United have pull? Some people are going to tell me yes. Some people are going to tell me no. And I see it from both sides. I don't think signing Cunha and Brian Mbeumo so that Manchester United have massive pull, right? This is a Wolves player and a Brentford player, respectfully, right? You're Manchester United. You should be able to take those teams' best players. But getting in a guy like Gyokeres, who a lot of people thought was going to get a big money move to a team that's competing, and then for them to now come in and possibly get him despite not having any UCL football, this would be a huge deal. But at the same time, like I brought up, it seems like all the teams that need a striker look at Gyokeres as a number 2 option versus being the number 1. And I don't understand it. Like, if you're Arsenal, why are you trying to sign Sesko over Viktor? Like, what is going on with this player that we don't know about? Now, I do want to look at this article a little bit more because maybe Ben Jacobs will give us some more insight. Now, it says Viktor is open to Manchester United transfer, but Premier League rivals retain interest. Now, I don't think he would pick a Manchester United if he had a solid offer from an Arsenal, from a Liverpool, from a Chelsea, right? These are teams who are in the Premier League that are competing for trophies. They're in the Champions League next season as well. There's no rebuild that's going on. People already have faith in those managers. Again, Ruben Amorim, who says that he's here come January? Because I think what he did when he came into Manchester United was unacceptable. This guy was awful. And like I said earlier, I tried to give him a little bit of a break because he came in after Ten Hag and he didn't really get backed in January. All that they did was bring in Patrick Dorgu. So I'm thinking, you know what? Let's just see what he does in Europe. They end up making the final. You lose to Tottenham. From there, he should have been sacked. Like, I can't believe that they're actually backing him and keeping him in this job. But again, Amorim, he does have a good track record of being able to, build up clubs. Look at what he did at Sporting. He made them compete with Porto and Benfica in Portugal when that was a 2-team league. So I understand. Now, looking at this article, it says the Sporting striker remains a possibility for United, but any move will be dependent on outgoings and formal talks with Sporting are not yet underway. Yeah, I agree. Because, again, it's like I kind of was alluding to earlier. Manchester United don't have the funds like that. These guys are laying off the lunch lady, right? The secretary that was there for like 30 years got fired. The guy that cuts the grass at Carrington, he got fired, okay? So, yeah, United are going to have to sell players. And we know that there's a bunch of names that are on the list, like Marcus Rashford, Amad Diallo. Sorry, not Amad Diallo. Whoa, he needs to be untouchable. But like Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho, like guys like this, like Rasmus Højlund, they all need to be forced out of the club. I know that Bruno Fernandes rejected the offer from Al Hilal, which to me is absolutely insane. Manchester United should have forced him out the club. That's what I would have done personally. But yes, they do need to sell to be able to bring this guy into the club. Says, however, United head coach Ruben Amorim would relish linking up with his former player and has kept in contact with him since moving to Old Trafford. I mean, look, going from Rasmus Højlund to Viktor would be like having to ride a bike to work every day, right? And your job is 40 miles away. You have to ride a bike 40 miles away, and then the next day, you end up getting a Lamborghini Urus, and you can drive that to work. Like, that's the kind of upgrade that we're talking about. Rasmus Højlund is one of the worst strikers that I've ever seen play. That guy's an absolute fraud. I have no idea how Atalanta scammed Manchester United out of 72 million. Anyways, says Sporting won around 60 million pounds, which is 70 million euros. This is a 25M reduction from his 85 million release clause. Viktor has a verbal pact in place with Sporting, allowing him to leave for less after committing to stay for the 24-25 campaign. That's true, because I remember last season it seemed like a lot of clubs were in for him, and then he ended up staying at Sporting. And he bagged 54 goals in 52 games this season. Like, that return is crazy. Should United formalize their interest, they could face competition from Arsenal, who are currently determining whether to bid for the Sweden international or Leipzig's Benjamin Sesko. I don't get what there is to really figure out here. Gyokeres is a better player than Sesko. Like, this is the guy that Arsenal need, a proper number 9 that's going to bag them goals from day one. I don't know, it's weird. Anyway, it says, Viktor is also one name under consideration at Chelsea, who want to add more firepower due to the expected departure of Nkunku. Well, Chelsea have just signed Liam Delap, and according to all the reports, they're trying to work on a deal for Ekitike from Frankfurt. Let's keep it going. Liverpool and Juve have also been linked, while TalkSport understands 2 Saudi clubs have been interested in him as well. It is not thought that he wishes to leave Europe, especially a year before the 2026 World Cup. I mean, I don't think that it matters if he's in Europe or not. Even if he plays in Saudi, he's going to get called up for the World Cup, I believe. And new Victor shooters could also be Champions League winners PSG. That actually would be a good signing for PSG because they don't have a proper 9. Like, they have, like, their front 3 is wingers who are all technically gifted on the ball. But, yeah, let's see. Yeah, Marco Asensio and Colomwani are leaving this summer. United have also considered Al Hilal's Mitrovic as a short-term solution, but at this stage, no approach has been made. Al Hilal met with Mitrovic's representatives in Paris. I mean, look, I can't see this guy going to Manchester United, me personally. I think that would be a mistake for where he's at in his career, right? You don't leave Sporting to go to Manchester United right now. You might as well just wait and see what other offers come in, right? Manchester United, they're in a rebuild. Gyokeres is in the prime of his career. Why would you want to waste your prime years at Manchester United when you can get a move to a better club? A more stable club, I should say. Because United are a huge club, and they can attract players. But I just don't think it really makes too much sense for him to go there. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those post notifications.